Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kat. I make art videos. I am going to go through this sketchbook with you guys. So I just finished this up today. This is the Stillman and Birn Zeta Series. So it's a 270 GSM mixed media sketchbook. And then the last painting that I did was actually a swatch of my Rembrandt paints. So you know what, we can leave that out, but I'm going to put that aside. I highly recommend this watercolor set. It's, I think Rembrandt is US based. I'm not sure, but for a 48 set, it's got beautiful colors. We'll see that in here. And I didn't have a swatch for it. I still need to make a swatch card, but I did swatch it out in the sketchbook. So I'll show you guys that. So opening up, just have welcome to my sketchbook, just a little doodle. So I started this in May of 2022, and then I finished it July 2025. So this is actually the first painting that I did, and you'll see everything's a little bit backwards, and I've kind of jumped around in this sketchbook, but this is the last painting that I did. So first, last, and these are the swatches of the Rembrandt 48 watercolor set that you guys see here. And it's just got some really nice colors. Honestly, seeing it laid out like this, I would probably organize it a little bit differently if I wanted to take the time to do that, but I hate dealing with watercolor pans. It's just so messy, and I feel like my nails always get in the paint and then it's just gross. But it's got some really beautiful colors. Like this lilac here is super pretty. The magentas are gorgeous. The greens are really nice, and then some really nice neutral tones as well. So I did get a little bit of the purple in with this blue, and it made like this really pretty purpley kind of granulating. I don't know if it's picking up on camera. But in 2022, I got this sketchbook as an intention to do a watercolor plein air kind of series, and then I lost the sketchbook. So this is the first painting I did. This is definitely going to show you guys how my painting has evolved over time, but I had never used watercolor before. I was using a Cotman set, so let me go get that. I had bought this as I have the little paintbrush that it comes with in this journal that you guys will see in another video, because this is my traveler's journal. So I have that coming in another video, but I did take the little paintbrush out and put it in there. And this set is awesome. It's just a little travel set. You got your sponge, which I should actually take out and just use because I don't have a sponge for my watercolors. And then it's got these nice basic color set, all of your cool yellows, warm reds, cool blues, warm blues, etc. Greens, some neutral tones as well. And then it has this nice little water holder. And then the brush just slides right in there. So this is a really cute travel set. And when I got this on Amazon, I'm pretty sure it was only like $25 or $30. And I think it's like 60 or something crazy like that. So my intention was to start this sketchbook and do plein air painting. And then I didn't realize this would be a mixed media sketchbook. So it doesn't hold watercolor like 100% cotton would. So for example, my new sketchbook, I'll show you guys what I'm working in now, is 100% cotton. I believe this is a Light Wish sketchbook, and it just holds layers and layers and layers of watercolor so nicely. So this is just took so much water without actually damaging the paper. So I'm working on, so this is Pontonate, but I'm pretty sure this is Light Wish. I'm working on this sketchbook now. And this is mixed media paper. So it's got almost no tooth, no texture to it, almost like a hot press, and it's not 100% cotton, which I know some people are big sticklers about whether they're using 100% cotton or whether they're not. But when I bought this, I really had no idea what was going on. So these are flowers that my husband got me, and this was May of 2022. On a Tuesday, I decided to just paint these flowers. And then this was actually this year done with watercolor pencil. And then September 17th of 2022, this is my husband and my dog Klaus. So they were sleeping on the couch, and I wanted to sketch them real quick. You can see, like, I actually like this. I think this turned out really nicely. This is kind of fun, but it's like not, like the line work and the coloring and just kind of the layers weren't doing it for me. This was almost a disaster, but it was like one of those 5-minute timer sketch, and it was like 11 o'clock at night and they were napping on the couch. And then this is from this year. So I have done this painting 3 or 4 times. In every sketchbook I have, I do this painting. It's almost like a tradition. And this is using Neocolor 2s. So I really liked how that turned out. I thought that was really sweet. But that's from this year. And then the last painting that I did, so these were from 2022, 2022, 2022. This is 2023. And this is of one of our chickens. So I believe this was Cinnamon. And she was just a tiny little baby. But this was June 2nd, 2023, May 20th, 2025. And you can see how my art has evolved. So I found this illustration off Pinterest, and I wanted it for my sketchbook. And I did do a painting tutorial, not a tutorial, but just like a paint with me doing this. And I credited the original illustrator in that video. So then coming back to this year, this is the first painting I did of this year in this sketchbook. So you can see like I hopped around. And I had just gotten my A Gallo watercolors for Mother's Day, and I found this sketchbook around the same time. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I did these cute little chickens, and I was just trying to get a feel for the watercolors. It's the first time I brought out watercolors for the year of 2025. And I like how it granulated, and I was trying to get an understanding of the paper. And I like how this came out. I think the chickens are a little too dark for my taste, and the shadowing could use some work. But then I did this cute little duck scene. I don't know what kind of ducks these are, but I found the reference photo off Pinterest. And I liked how this turned out, except I think the windows were too prominent. Like I could not, my hands started shaking and I just could not get the lines that I wanted. It turned a little dark. I tried to fix it up. The color was just the pin was doing a weird thing. I'm not sure. So trying to avoid looking at the windows. But yeah, I really like how this spread turned out next to each other. I just think this is a really sweet painting overall if you ignore the windows. And then I did layer over some Holbein colored pencils. So I did a video of that too. It's on my channel if you want to take a look. This is done with gouache. So I got Shinhan gouache, and it was fresh out the tube that I was playing with, and I was trying to get a feel for the colors. It was my first time practicing with original gouache. So I have a bunch of acrylic gouache that acts like acrylic, but the traditional gouache acts like watercolor. And the blending was getting a little bit difficult. And then the colorings it's just so vibrant. Like I wish I would have toned it back, made it more neutral, but that was that one. And then this I did a video of on my channel as well. So I really loved how this little post office turned out. And I love the granulation and the mixture of colors in the grass. And I think it's cute. And then here is just another sketch of some flowers and a cute little butterfly. And then this is a sketch of me and my baby. And I actually didn't paint this because I love how the sketch turned out so much that I didn't want to ruin it with paint. So I just wanted to keep it as is. And this is still one of my favorite sketches. Like he just looks so cute. And I think I did a good job with the proportions, and it's a pretty close representation to the actual photo. And then another picture here that I found off of Pinterest, which is these cute little ducks or whatever these are called. And then this is a mixture of like colored pencils and watercolor. And this was a water soluble colored pencil that I used, and I was just trying to get a feel for that or playing around. And then here as a still life I did, and I believe I used this set. No, I used what did I use? I used my Daniel Smiths, and I tried to get this as dark as I could without tearing the paper using the Daniel Smith colors that I have. And I like how this turned out, and I do like how this turned out too. All of these sketches I've done sitting on the couch in very dark lighting while my baby sleeps, and then me and my husband watch something on the TV. So this is playing with gouache again, so using the same palette as this one. I do like how this turned out. I think these flowers look really sweet. And then I did another drawing of me and my baby, and I think this turned out really cute. It was my first time doing skin tones, and like the shadowing and trying to get a feel for that, and teeth and trying to get a feel for that. But I do think it turned out cute. It did discourage me from painting this piece though, because I love how this is so much. And I was like, as much as I love this more. So then we have this nice little landscape, and I was trying to do like a timed 20-minute landscape. So that's what we came up with. And then I did a paint with me doing these flowers on YouTube as well. And I loved how this worked because this was a mixture of Sui gouache on top of Daniel Smith watercolor. Or was it the Shinhan watercolors? I think it was Sui gouache on top of Shinhan watercolors. And then I did this sweet little house, this little cottage feel. And this was I took a bunch of reference photos from when we took my son to the aquarium. And then I just put all of those reference photos into one piece. So like all the jellyfish we saw, and then I did change the colorings of the jellyfish. This little blue fish that we saw was super cute. There was this crab standing over this like really old, whatever pod kind of ancient creature this thing is. And I loved how that looked together. So I put that in here, some corals. And then we got my son a sea turtle stuffed animal. So I wanted to make sure I put a sea turtle in here as well. So I like how that turned out. And this was I believe this was like an Italian or French house in front of lavender fields. And I thought that was really sweet. And then I did some watercolored pencils with this little bird. And then let's see. So you can see some of the marker coming through over here. So I did this watercolor piece, and then I added some marker on top. And I don't like how markers bleed. So I didn't use the markers again in this sketchbook. But then this is done with the A Gallo iridescent dot card. So that's on my channel as well. But I used one little dot card to do this whole piece, and it was so sweet, so cute. And then I used a gold marker to do this little piece. And then this is on my channel as well. So we did a video. I love how this little hair turned out. It was like a timed session to get these done within like a 40-minute time frame or something like that. And more of like a study. So just to see what kind of colors I could get, see if I could get this done very quickly. So I think this took like a total of 40 minutes. I don't paint very fast. I paint very slow. So I worked on this piece last night and this piece today. So this is technically like the last finished painting I did. So I marked it July 2nd, 2025. But I liked how these flowers turned out. And then I wanted to bring these colors into here. So this was using my A Gallo custom palette. And then this was using just the Rembrandt colors. And I love how this turned out. Again, still working on my skin tones and the teeth and things of that nature. But I think she's cute. I think it's sweet. And I like this spread together. Then I wanted to do some illustrative work to see if I could get some kind of creative childlike illustration. So there was a Pinterest photo of, like, crop this out, of something similar to this. And I decided to take that and a bunch of other different pieces and use that Pinterest photo as inspiration. So the original photo had this same style mushroom, and then these two mice, and then everything else I kind of added in on my own. So I believe they had like a mouse sticking out holding a thing of pie. So I just did the pie. And then I did these bluebells in the background and these sweet little flowers and this nice little tree. And I love how playful this is. I just think it's so cute. And I did this with Neocolor tubes. And then this I used, let's see, I believe I used my Rembrandt set here. And I just think this came out so sweet. So this cute little farm girl. And then some oranges and some bread, and she's got her little farmer's market basket, and there's some chickens. And I love this spread. I think it's very sweet. And then playing with my Neocolor too some more, I did another little chicken, and then I tried to do this little train thing, but I was picking the wrong colors because it was dark and I was not liking it. So don't really like this, but I think it's a cute chicken. And then some more watercolor. So this is using the A Gallows, and I like how these turn out. If you can't tell, I really like chickens. And then this bird is one of my favorites. I like how the branch turned out in the bark, and I like the bird itself too. And this is a sweet little landscape. So I like how the shadows turned out, but it was very dark, so I couldn't really see what I was doing. But I like it. I liked how it turned out. I like the bird better, but I still think it's sweet. Then I did like a 10-minute painting, just trying to get flowers and lay down color as fast as I could. So I like how sketchy this is and how this turned out. And then I did another lavender field. And you can see, like, when you add a lot of water to this kind of paper, it peels a bit, which is not fun, but I do like how this turned out. It's a little dull in the camera, but it's brighter in person. And then this is my A Gallo 48 collection, my set 2. So I just swatched all of those colors out. And I love these colors. This is a lot of the natural colors in this set. I do wish there was some more reds in here, but I don't want to switch any of my other palettes. So I'm just going to keep that as is. And then I did this sweet little painting with these little flowers, and I love that. And I love how this little house turned out, just standing on its own. I like the color palette I chose. And then I wanted to be unique with these pairs and try like a different color palette, and I really liked how this one turned out as well. And I just did a tree real quick, and then this is another swatch of my A Gallo collection, including is this including a few additional colors? Yes, so including my travel set, which is these 12s down here. So it's this set up to here, and then my travel set down here, and then these are some mixes. And then, so the travel set was the natural 3. I ended up changing those colors out, but these are just some color mixes I did with the natural 3 set, and then these are the little cards that come on the half pans. And then some more swatches. So I have my Shinhan watercolor here, the Sui gouache that I have in the same palette. So this palette is watercolor and then gouache. And I love the vibrancy of these colors. I think they're so pretty. And then I love the Sui gouache. I think it layers nicely. This is what I use to make this painting here. So like you can see how opaque it's getting with the Sui gouache. So love that. And then my Daniel Smith palette also has the Sui gouache. So it's in a Bowerbird small travel case, and it's really pretty. It's got all these flowers on it, but this is the Daniel Smith colors that I have. And I just swatched my Gansai Tambi kuritakes in here, and I read that you're not supposed to mix the kuritakes, that you're supposed to just use them from the pan. So I did a color wheel to see what it would look like if you did end up mixing them, and it does get a little bit muddy, but I did do this while the paints were still wet, so they like bled into each other. And then this is my A Gallo 48 original set. And then some Aya's Paper Crafts. I won one of her giveaways and she gave me a bunch of sample cards. So that's what I put there. So that is this fun little sketchbook. I'm very proud of it. I'm glad I was able to finish it. I've been working very hard to be creative every day and to paint every day. And I love how it turned out. So thank you guys for watching if you made it to the end. And I'll have some more painting videos for you soon.